What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Life of a Vegan Vixen. So this episode is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to start this episode kind of talking to y'all confessional style. Because if you follow me online, you know that there is a lot going on in my life right now. So, where do I begin? So, I've been getting a lot of comments, a lot of DMs, a lot of inquiries from people that have been asking about my marriage, right? Where's your husband? How are you in Dubai by yourself? All of these things, right? And so for months, I did not address it. Why I didn't address it? Because I know my husband, and I just didn't want to I just didn't feel the need to address my personal issues just outright, right? And then granted, I'm very open and transparent about my personal life. And I was actually very open and transparent about my transition to Nigeria, my marriage, and everything else that was going on. So it was normal for people to ask me questions like, where's your husband? What's going on? But I had to really figure out how I could address it, right? And so I did a couple videos, like my first Christmas alone, my first Thanksgiving alone, and just like all of the things that I was going through, being in Dubai alone without my husband. And so finally, with the release of this reality series, that has been a long time coming. I decided to just put it all out there. Everything that I have been going through, and some received it well. Some people have more questions, but the man that I was married to or am married to, he was not feeling it, right? He even went and started to post, the content that I was posting and have his own scenario or have his own side of his story that he wants to share. And I'm for it. He can share, he can do whatever he needs to do on social media. Even though he's not a social media person and I am a social media person, it comes off kind of weird to me. But you know what? Do what you want to do, boo. But anyway, so this episode, before I get into the bulk of the episode, I just want to put this disclaimer, okay? For that man that watching, this is not to try to bring you down. This is me telling my truth, and I'm using social media as an outlet to address things that I feel will help women, help people go through the things that I've been through. And he said before that my content was only veganism. No, if you look at my content from over the past 5 years, I've addressed so many topics that's applicable to my demographic. It just so happened that I am a vegan foodie, but I address things as far as relationships, spirituality, holistic health. Like, I cover a range of things, right? And so, especially as it pertains to my life. And for me, I'm just being transparent. Like, I'm taking my life and creating content around my life. So if you get an attitude about this, I don't know what to tell you, boo, because I know you're gonna watch it. But anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so I've been going back and forth about sharing different things that I've been going through in my marriage, not to try to protect him or protect me, but just because I just wasn't in the mental space to have to deal with the backlash, because I know him, right? And I know how petty he can be. And if you follow him on the Nigerian Vegan page, you see, right? But I want to address some things that I have not addressed before and just put it all out there. This will be the last time that I address him, that I will address my marriage, that I will address anything that's concerning that, because there's so much more that I want to share with y'all about my life being an expat, from me missing my son, to me, learning how to cope being in the country by myself, to just exploring different foods. So there's so much more that I want to share with you. And it's not just about my marriage. Like, who has time to be sitting up talking about some trauma? Like, if anybody know me or if you follow me, you know that I am on my quest to ascend to the highest vibrational frequency, which is enlightenment. And so these are low vibrational things. But at the same token, as I go through my ascension from 4D to 5D, I have to address those things so that I can leave it in the dust, right? So this is what this is. This is me addressing it finally and leaving it in the fucking dust. Okay? So let's get into it. To be honest, you know, when I first got married to my husband, I was super excited. You know, I felt that, you know, we can grow and we can become this epic couple, you know, and we can create content, we can travel the world, you know, we can have a baby, we can buy land, we can open businesses. And I started to soon realize that, you know, he didn't understand me. And I don't mean with my accent. Like, I would say things and he just wouldn't understand it. He would interpret it another way. I would say something and he would internalize it differently. Same thing as he would say stuff to me and I would internalize it differently. So there was not only a cultural barrier, but cultural barriers can be worked through, right? Because I've dated Haitians, Jamaicans, like, come on now, cultural barriers can be worked through. But communication barriers, we had very bad communications. And early on, you know, I was kind of trying to figure out, you know, because this is not something that's new. Ever since, I would say probably like a day after our marriage, I really questioned it, you know what I'm saying? Because one, the actual photo shoot for our wedding photo shoot, you know, the car wasn't working, he broke the key in the door, you know, the tailor took the clothes. So there were signs, but I ignored the signs, right? And then actually the night before our wedding, I saw him texting a woman, a younger girl, and he swore that it was friendship, whatever, but the texts didn't seem like it was. Just put that out there, right? So there were things that was going on early on in our marriage, but I decided to, you know, I know that, you know, people go through stuff and I was willing to work through it. And so I was just, you know, going through the motions of saying, okay, he loves me, I love him, we can work through this, right? And so, you know, I feel like maybe we put a good front on the social media. I mean, I would say 80% of the time I was happy, but there was that 20% time when I was home alone, when he was at work for hours and would leave me there, that I really questioned my existence and say, is this why I moved to Nigeria, to be in the house all the damn time? That's not why I moved to Nigeria. I wasn't doing this in the United States. Why would I do it in a new country? So, you know, there were times that I second guessed myself in this relationship. And so I would do things like plan for us to go to different countries, like we went to Ghana, or plan for us to go to Lagos. And when we were in Lagos, we were cool, right? I didn't know, because my plan was to move to Nigeria, relocate, and set up shop. I've later found out after we were married that my husband's goal was to leave Nigeria. He's like, I'm not trying to be here. So then I started on this quest to find a country for us to be, right? Okay, I feel like my husband had been working a job for a long time. He was ready to leave the job. He was ready to start something new. You know, I wanted to make him happy. So I started this quest, and if my husband doesn't want to be here, he's not happy here, maybe him being in a different environment would change things about us, and we could really get on track and really start to begin our life. So that's what led me to Dubai. And I'm not gonna lie, when we first got to Dubai, we were so happy. You know, things seemed to be just like working out for us, and you know, we were just in this good place. Even though he got denied the visa in Turkey, it was like, we in Dubai, we can make it happen. Now, granted, you know, Dubai is a beautiful place to visit, right? But if you come to live here, you have to deal with certain things, right? Like visas, job visas. And we later found out that there was a labor ban on Nigerians. So it wasn't as easy for him to get a job. It wasn't as easy for him to be in a position to take care of his wife. And I understand that if a man can't really take care of his wife the way that he is supposed to, like my grandfather took care of his wife, then it can cause strains in our relationship, right? And me being the way that I am, I'm spoiled. Okay, I'm one of them type of people to where I don't take no for an answer. So, you know, as time progressed, we started to have issues. I started to get DMs from all of these people saying crazy stuff about my husband and me. And so it kind of put a strain on our relationship, and we started to argue a lot. And so on my birthday of 2023. So on my birthday of 2022, he said, can you give me a plane ticket? Jokingly, but he wasn't joking. Like, he literally got a plane ticket and left. And after he left, they put a visa ban on Nigerians, so they couldn't travel to back to Dubai. And his goal was to go back, get his business together, and hopefully, he can get his money together, and then he come back and we can begin this beautiful life in Dubai. Well, none of that happened, right? He had a lot of issues that came up, and so he wasn't able to do the things that he set to do. So originally, it wasn't my husband just leaving me in Dubai. I want to clear the air and say my husband did not just flat out leave me and go to a different country. But what I will say is, once he left, he did say to me that he couldn't carry me alone because he, didn't have the mind to deal with the stress. But once he left, we didn't come up with the cohesive plan really to come back together, or at least he didn't come up with the cohesive plan where we can reunite in a timely fashion. And for me, long distance doesn't work for me. Right now, he's accused me of things, of cheating, and off the gate, he was accusing me of cheating, saying, I know you need attention, I know you're emotional, I know you this, I know you that. But to be honest, y'all, I am really on my spiritual path, and I'm very adamant about the energies that I allow around me. And so for me, even if I was lonely, even if I was having issues with my husband, I'm not going to go and just be with any man because I'm lonely. I'm not that girl, right? And I started to realize, as he would say things to me like, you're cheating, you're a cheap whore, and all of these things, I started to realize that he didn't even understand who I was, because if he understood who I was, he would know that I'm not the type of woman to just go out and entertain men for fuckery. Like, I'm 44 years old. I'm in my 40s. That's stuff that I did in my 20s. And even then, it was, I'm entertaining you because you feeding me, you giving me money, I like you. Like, there was something, there was a really big reason why this person was in my life. And as I started to go through my spiritual journey, I started to be very aware of me being an empath. And so I'm very particular about the energies that I entertain, whether it be friends, whether it be clients, whether it be people on social media. I'm very particular. And as I grow more in my social media world, I'm even more particular. Like, I have to revoke access to me from so many people because they've abused access to me, right? And so, he just continued to basically accuse me of cheating. Accused me of all these things that was not true. Now, for me, I have no reason to lie, because I have no reason to lie. Do I have male friends in Dubai? Yes, I do. As you see, Abhishek, Alex, Khalid, a range of people, because I live in an apartment where it's other people. So I have a lot of male friends, but I also always have male friends. I always wanted brothers, right? And for me, being the only child, I get male friends in the form of brothers. And I'm pretty good with friend-zoning people, right? But all of the people that you see, even Alex, who is freaking a baby to me, I was accused of cheating with him, right? And so as time progressed, it started to wear on us, because the worst thing that a person can do is accuse you of something that's not the truth. And it kind of draws a wedge. So we started to argue all the time, to where he accused me of being happy here and this and that. And you see, I have the screenshots this next to me coming up. These are some of the things that I dealt with. And for me, I come to the realization that, for one, Aries and Cancer don't get along. For two, I come to the realization that my peace is more important than having a man, than having a companion, than having a husband. And I came to peace with that, And do men try to talk to me in Dubai? Every freaking day. Will I mess with these men in Dubai? No, I will not, because I can feel their energetic frequency. And it's not something that I feel will help me be the best version of myself. So there were a lot of things that I went through that I'm not going to discuss in my marriage. But what I will say is that, ladies, for me, your peace is more important. You know, arguing with someone, a lot of people think that having a relationship where y'all argue and it's toxic and y'all having issues is normal. For me, that's not normal. I don't want to live a life that's the foundation or the undertone is unhappiness, or arguing is cool. You know, I've been in relationships where we didn't argue, but we just couldn't be together, you know, and for various reasons, and we separated. I've had relationships where we argue all fucking day and I couldn't deal with it, you know. So there were a lot of things, as you see scrolling next to me, a lot of hurtful things that were said from him and from me, you know. Excuse me. And I just want to say that, you know, there's two sides to a story, but that his side does not diminish my side doesn't diminish his side. It just so happened that I am a social media content creator, and I'm able to use my platform to address things, which I feel helps me grow as a person. It helps other people. Another thing is, ladies, do not settle. You know, a lot of women that are in their 30s and 40s, they feel like they're on their last leg, and if they don't find a man, they ain't gonna make it in life. But at the same token, that causes desperation and causes you to be with somebody that you're unequally yoked with. And if you're unequally yoked with someone, then it could cause stress on you that blocks your manifestation, that blocks your ascension, and causes you illness, health issues. So, you know, if you are in a relationship and it's toxic, or you're being accused, or you're being talked down to, or it's emotional abuse. Like, even for me in this relationship, being transparent, I started to have suicidal thoughts. Like, oh my God, just don't wake me up. Like, I'm so stressed with my life right now, with my business life, my personal life. It's just like I just needed a breakthrough. And I was thinking, could death be the breakthrough? Now, would I go and jump off a building to hang myself, or, you know, put a gun to my head? No. But I've had conversations with God where I said, listen, if it ain't meant for me to be here, take me in my sleep, because I'm too stressed about this relationship. And that's when I knew that the situation that I was in, it's like I woke up and was like, this is not it, because I've never had these thoughts in my life. I've never been this low emotionally, spiritually, mentally in my life. And I had to break through. And I did a video before, which I'll link in this video, where I talked about my mental health. And that was a big part of my mental health. What I was going through, I didn't tell y'all a lot of it, but it was the fact that I was alone in a new country. I was without my husband in a new country, where I moved out of the country, not for him per se, but a big part of my move was that I moved and then I got married. So that was a big part of my life that was going crazy, you know. And I just felt stagnated with my content. It was just a lot going on, and it was weighing me down, right? And y'all know I'm very transparent about every single thing, you know. And I just want to address these things because I feel like it's being misinterpreted by him, but also a lot of people don't understand the magnitude of everything that I've been through, the things that were said to me, the way that I was treated, you know, from saying I regret marrying you and this and that, and you're old and this. Like, it was a lot of shit that I've been through in that situation. And I just came to the conclusion, not for another man, but for myself, is this something that I really want to deal with and get through? And no, I don't want to. I don't have to. And I'm not afraid of being alone, you know, not that I will, but I'm just, you know, I'm not afraid of that. And it's not because I have someone in the bleachers waiting, but it's just that, you know, I know my worth, I know my calling, and right now is the time for me to step into my ascension and step into the spiritual leader that I'm called to be. And I have to do things that others may question, you know. Even with the video that I did, if you watched the last episode where I did the reading, and I think it was very misinterpreted by that man, where the reader said good things about my marriage, right? Like, okay, you know, good things. I threw some names out there being funny. The names that I mentioned was Winston Duke from Black Panther and Burna Boy. Apparently it was misinterpreted and it was taken out of context, and, you know, like, I'm comparing and I have all these eligible suitors, which was not the case. But I'm not here to explain myself in those situations. I'm just here to clarify in those situations. I'm really adamant about, you know, speaking on topics that's applicable to my demographic. I'm really adamant about just, you know, being transparent, because I know that my transparency help people. And when I speak on my family, sometimes they get offended and they want to, you know, say things and ask questions. You know, I speak on my marriage and he wants to get offended and ask questions. I speak on spirituality. People in the comments want to get mad and ask questions. I speak about veganism. People want to get mad and ask questions. So I can't please everybody. To make a long story short, I can't please everybody. The only thing that I can do is please myself and be the best me, be the best Arena, the vegan foodie, the best mom, the best daughter, the best tribe leader, the best version of me. And that's all that I'm really focused on. You know, am I sad about how things are going with my relationship? I was, but y'all see all these screenshots I got coming up. How much could a person take? You know, all of and there are some things that I probably will never discuss in a public setting, but I went through it. And at some point I even questioned, was I being looked at like these other older American women? Like, seriously, you know, because I grew up with a grandmother that never worked. My grandfather took care of her, and I always thought that marriage should be that type of format, to where the man is the one that creates for the woman and the woman follows, right? Not the woman creates and the man follows. And that's just not in my makeup. I know in some certain cultures or certain, you know, other relationships, that's what they do. Kudos to y'all. I'm not speaking on how someone should live their life. I'm just speaking on how I live my life. Okay, so hopefully this little excerpt, I'm actually gonna put this out aside from the episode, because I don't want this to kind of cloud the episode that I have for you, because I have so much coming up that I cannot wait to share. But I just wanted to come in here and address some things in a real confessional way, because I feel like my message has been misconstrued. I feel like, you know, all of this toxicness of my relationship is displayed in front of y'all as pure entertainment, and this is my life, and this is not the energy frequency that I reside in. I'm not going to reside in this anymore. I will not be speaking on my marriage anymore. If someone asks me about my marriage online or where's my husband, I will direct them to this video. I will not be making any more content addressing him. I will not be making any more content with him. I will not be making any more content directly going towards him, because I don't feel like that. And I don't like that, the fact that when I create content about my life, it causes this long, drawn out online social media drama thing that ain't nobody got time for that. I'm trying to raise my vibrational frequency. I've already made my assessments about who this person is, how this person treats me, and if I want to deal with it, I can, and if I don't, I don't, and that's it, right? So anyway, y'all, make sure y'all stay tuned for the next episode of Life of a Vegan Vixen. We back to regular programming. I just had to come in here and say a couple words for y'all. So let me get out of here. Let me edit this video. And every Sunday at 9 p.m. EST, the episode will drop. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Make sure y'all follow me on all social media networks. I just want to come in here, show y'all a couple reasons of why I had to move on, and also explain the background of what's going on, and just kind of give you insight on what's been going on in my world in the past year, y'all. And another thing, okay, cancers don't cheat. They break up and go to the next. Okay, so don't think we cheat, boo. I never cheated. What I do is move on. Okay, peace.